BWP, you're an established goal scorer in football history. We have to talk about the lack of number 9s in world football right now. What's going on? What do you think it is? Do you think it's development of players? A lot of players now are more inside forwards than number 9s. Why do you think it's so difficult to find a top class number 9 nowadays?
I like this conversation, by the way. I think it's just systems, right? The way we're playing is the systems have changed. When I was growing up, it's a 4-2-2. So you're gonna have 2 9s on the pitch. I think nowadays it's the inside forwards, the left and right, the Mo Salahs of the world, the Messis, Neymars. They get the ball more. I think the 9s more to occupy centre backs. Don't really get too much service into the box. When's the last time you see teams really crossing the ball in the box? Or when's the last time you see a player apart from Haaland? He's a bit different. You don't see them going through on one-on-ones. When I was growing up, I see Michael Owen, Andy Cole
running through
all
on
these players.
goal. They're gone,
My dad,
fam.
you're running through on goal.
Emil Heskey pinged down. Michael Owen gone, fam. You remember those, fam? I missed the 4-4-2, fam. Played off a big man because I'm 5'8", bro. So I missed the big man just putting it down and just running.
That's how I came up.
You notice how Raheem always makes it about himself.
Yeah.
But listen, back to me. Back in my day, bro.
I gotta let people know, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day when I was working with. But no, I agree. And I think also in football, I feel like we reached this phase where it's just like teams aren't even really, you don't even need to have a 9. Like we're looking at Mikel Marino, who's a number 8 playing the number 9 role superb for Arsenal right now. His hold-up play is great. He brought out Rudiger out the center back position to build up space for Martinelli to run in behind.
It's adorable, by the way, how Arsenal fans have just discovered a false 9. Good job, guys. Really cute.
But
really
but
cute.
not even that, though.
But it's not even that. But like, think about it. He's not really playing as a false 9 because he's holding it up. Like, you know, he's actually playing like a 9.
But they're not 9s. I get it. But they're not 9s. It's the same with Havertz. It's the same with Havertz, the way he plays. He's not a 9. He's not really, I don't want to say causing the centre backs and defence too much trouble, especially in behind. I'm not going to lie. This kind of football annoys me, frustrates me.
Really?
Yeah. I miss it because I was
go ahead. What's quite funny though is that, like, and you talk about Arsenal, it's like, yeah, you can have those players that occupy defenders and cover spaces and what have you, but there is also still room in the game for someone who can be absolutely lethal inside the box. Yeah. Like that's what takes that's what takes Haaland to like the next level, right?
Of course.
And that's your Osmans, that's your Gyökeres's, maybe like Benjamin Sesko as well. Like that's why everyone's so after these guys.
Do you remember
because they can do both.
Exactly. But do you remember the first 2 plays in the Champions League quarterfinal, Arsenal Real Madrid at the Emirates? Saka goes down the right, crosses up 2 balls in the box, 6 yards.
Nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
Yeah.
And that frustrates me because...
But that's funny though as well, because Real Madrid just ended up trying to do the same thing, except they've got Mbappe through the middle, who's a left winger.
That's what we're talking about. Like these number 9s are inside forwards. You know what I'm saying? Like the Mo Salah rule where you're coming off the left or coming off the right. So you're not really a typical number 9. Like I was even this past weekend, just for my birthday, I was watching like Brazil 1999 highlights, Ronaldinho's first match. I swear to God.
For your birthday?
Nah, for my birthday. That was my present.
It's a great birthday.
So I'm watching R9, because you know, what I like to do is like, I like to go back and watch the game from the 90s, and I like to compare it to the number 9s and how much it's changed now. Yeah. What I've noticed is that R9 was occupying spaces. He was coming out the left, coming out the right, coming in the middle, getting the ball, dribbling, laying it off. Like even nowadays, you see strikers literally struggle to kind of get, like Haaland cannot, in my opinion, you can't pass Haaland the ball and expect him to turn, dribble, and play it out.
What was it?
Or even hold it up for his size.
Or even hold it up for that
for his
great.
size, he's not great holding up the ball.
And like, I just remember back in the day, you'd have guys like Jermaine Defoe, Peter Crouch, like even these 9s back then, you know how much they'd be worth on today's market? Like a prime Daniel Sturridge right now. You're telling me he's not doing bits.
It was unbelievable.
Even Jermaine Defoe, like you said, he was smaller than that, but he's hold up play, he's finishing, he's a way better 9 than players we're seeing nowadays.
Absolutely.
But also in a sense, and just to play like devil's advocate a little bit, having a load of inside forwards, a load of techie guys who are maybe a bit smaller, does that not make football a little bit more fun to watch?
So is the versatility a good thing? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm saying is the fact that you have not, in fact, probably the opposite of versatility, right? Like a load of lads who can cut in and like make things happen, find a killer pass. Like, is that not maybe a bit more exciting as a fan? Does that make sense?
I don't think so. I preferred watching football, and the guys on the outside forwards, they're never really taking guys on. They cut inside, they link up with the 10 or the 8, and then they get it back. It's kind of boring. It's just always swinging it around.
And to be honest, like I'm even watching that game that I'm talking about. Like I'm watching Ronaldinho play right wing, and there's not much that he doesn't do that's different than what wingers do now.
Okay, you are referencing the greats, by the way.
No. But I'm just saying, like back in that day, you would think the tactics are different. They didn't want people to take people, like they wanted people to take people on all the time. We live in a day now and age where wingers aren't typically taking people on 1v1. But I'm seeing like back then they had the freedom to do so.
Because
you know
nowadays it's about keeping the ball, like you said, recycling. Iron Robin used to get the ball all the time and cut in, but when he cuts in, he's got product. He's got end product. He's going to bang it top corner, or he's going to play a nice pass. He's going to do something. There was there was end product to it. Nowadays, it's just don't lose the ball. I look at someone like Sancho, so much ability.
Yeah.
He looks like he can walk past a player at any time if he wants. But how often do you see him going by a player and
Rarely. I think what kills
Jadon
Jadon Sancho though is that his lack of doesn't have that much pace. So he's getting by you, but you could catch up.
But do you know what? I remember watching. He played for Dortmund, wasn't it, last year? Was it in the Champions League semi-final?
Against Nuno Mendes?
Yeah, and there was some ridiculous stat that he had like the most dribbles completed in it. I was saying I don't know about football anymore. No, but it's like most dribbles completed in any Champions League game, and he was just cooking against PSG, and that's like he's still got that in him with Sancho. But maybe it's just partially a confidence thing as well, and that's what's funny to me. It's like in England, you complain about Jack Grealish a lot, right? That's what we like to do in England. It's just a thing. You complain about Jack Grealish
or Rashford or Sterling.
Well, no, Grealish in particular, because Pep's kind of turned him into this like ball recycling,
just
psychopath.
left winger, just there.
But then when you watch him play for England, he then lacks the confidence to go and do all of the fun stuff that he did at like the Euros or even at the World Cup a little bit.
Yeah, but it's difficult, right? If you're playing that way like most of the year, then you go to the national team, and it's hard to change those habits.
Do you guys think nines being versatile could be a good thing as well? Because now you're seeing guys who are able to kind of play on the left or play on the right. Like you see a Nicholas Jackson, like he's not really a typical number 9, or a Joshua Zirkzee who could drop back into midfield and support his team. Do you guys like that number 9s are more versatile now than previous generations?
Well, I think you can't be a one-dimensional footballer anymore at all, can you? You just have to be able to do a bit of everything. Because otherwise teams will figure you out, right? Like that you have to be able to bring different elements to your game, otherwise you are inherently stoppable. It's
kind of crazy to me that there's number 9s now that their job is not necessarily they're expected to score goals.
This is where I was going to go.
Yeah.
In my day growing up, when you played night, you had to have one in
You have to bag a game.
You have to have a goal in every 2 games to be considered a good striker. And nowadays, your job can be occupying and taking players out of their spaces and creating space for other. No, that's not it for me.
Do you like that though? So like one thing I think about a lot, Liverpool fan, is Darwin Nunez, right? Because it's just like agent of chaos, stretches the defense. And then I saw something. It's like he's only scored like 20 Premier League goals for Liverpool in like 3 years.
That's crazy.
It's like it's really not that many.
He's only scored 20.
Yeah, 20, maybe 25.
But it's weird with him because he could literally be Haaland. He could literally.
That's the annoying thing about him, bro.
He could just slow down in front of goal, just calm down. You know what I mean? Because he's a problem. And I like him because he's an old school 9. He's running in behind.
So
he doesn't care about coming to feet and all the fancy
asking.
stuff. I just think he needs work, or he needs. I'm not sure what it is. I don't want to be talking about Prem players. You know what I mean? For me, I like him as a 9. I like what he does. I know defenders don't like playing against him. For himself, though, he just has to be way more clinical.
So where do these current day strikers compare to strikers of 10 years ago? You're going to rank them as world class, can be world class, or not class. Nicholas Jackson.
Potential to be great.
Potential's there for me with him. Yeah. I see it.
He's not going to be world class, but potential. He could be a great striker.
I think he could be. Well, I mean, does that mean I've got to say not class? No, I think he could be pretty good, but he just seems a bit too erratic.
Yeah, he is.
It goes back to the question when you're saying, can players change?
Alexander Isak.
Oh, he's world class.
Yeah, he's world class.
You're saying he's world class now? He's not world class now, but
the strikers of 10 years ago.
He's getting to the point.
He could be world class.
He could be.
Yeah.
He's getting to the point.
He's one of those players that have everything, bro. He has everything.
So that's what I was going to say. It's like, because I remember was it his first season, he has that assist against Everton where he's basically dribbling everyone on the left wing. Yeah. He can play in the middle. He's good in the air. Yeah. His link-up plays been pretty good.
He can find a pass. You see the pass to Tonali from the volley in lower corner? That's mod.
That's it. The scoop over
what's that, man? Against Man U?
Yeah, that's
mod. For number 9 to get that. Hit it over.
Yeah, that was
hit that first time.
He's 100.
Yeah, world class potential.
Lautaro Martinez.
I'm gonna be real with you. I haven't watched enough of Lautaro Martinez.
I've seen clips, but I think the potential's there.
From what I've seen, I think. Do you know what it is? You were talking about how as a striker you've got to score 1 in every 2.
Yeah, his ratio's good.
Lautaro, but he has the real hot and cold runs.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Victor Gyökeres.
Because he's linked with Arsenal. He seems like he could be a great forward.
I think he could be good.
What confuses me about Gyökeres is that he's taken a while, hasn't he? You were talking about guys. Who was it that pointed that out? You know, needed time to develop, because he was Coventry. He was sort of just like knocking about in the lower leagues, and then obviously now he's smashing it.
Yeah, he seems to be on the pathway.
Yeah.
He seems to be on the pathway.
Last but not least, Victor Osimhen.
Freaking Cup of Nations, I saw a side. I remember his name was ringing bells, and I saw a side to him where he was missing a lot of chances. I would need to see him
But playing in the gravels of AFCON is different
than
Europe.
It can't be easy.
Yeah, it's not easy for a lot of guys. Once you hear the vuvuzela in your ear, fam.
I don't mind when players miss. Obviously, I'm not in these guys' category, and I've missed some chances myself, a lot of chances. But it's the way you miss, and I wasn't liking it. I would have to. I need the jury's out for me on that.
I feel you.
It's funny because watching him for Napoli a couple of years ago, the team with Kvaratskhelia, he was clinical. He was unbelievable.
He was.
So if you can get that version of the player back, then for sure.